finally springtime and we are all ready to get outside and host those backyard barbecues and all the fun things.
But before we invite everyone over, we need to make sure our homes are ready to take on the heat.
We have Tom Drexler, of course, here with us today. Good. And you know, it's not the most fun thing to do, but we need to get our homes prepped for spring.
Yeah.
So what's the number one thing on your list to check off?
I would think, probably just making sure that your air conditioner, is in good shape. When it gets so hot, it's hard to get somebody to come out because everybody needs you. But, there's some things that, homeowners can do, especially, keeping it clean around your air conditioning unit and, keep the leaves out from the inside of it. This air conditioner here doesn't have a lot of plants and things around it, but a lot of times we go to job sites in the summertime and, the unit just can't really breathe from leaves from last year or just, plants and growing right up to it. Spring tune-up is a good idea. We would come out, clean out the inside and among other things, but really get it in shape.
And also your ducts too, you want to make sure those are all cleaned out because you usually patch those up from the outside for the winter, but you want to make sure you've got those opened up too.
Yep. And furnace filter, every season, changing your furnace filter this time of year is perfect timing.
Yeah, and also your spring plumbing too. What's some of the checklists that you need to get those checked off?
If you have an outdoor grill and you have gas, make sure nothing's leaking before you turn it on. As you start to have parties and more outings, really be careful about what you're putting down the garbage disposal to keep having problems there. Your water heater is the same way as your furnace and air conditioners. Just make sure that it's there's no debris around it. It's clean and breathing and things of that nature.
And we do get a lot of those spring storms too. So how do I make sure that my sump pump is still working?
Oh yeah, really good point. Your sump pump is something that should be tended to, once a year. Take the lid off, get down in there. If there's dirt, dust down inside of the well, maybe try to clean that out. Ideally, take a garden hose and fill it up and make sure that it comes on and off. Just force it to do it while you're watching it, and then that way you'll know when a spring rain comes and you start to get some kind of flash flood that it's not sitting there, not working, and you didn't even know about it.
And you also bring up a good point too, the garden hose. You don't want to turn it full force on that outside faucet. What are some tips for that?
A lot of times, it's a really cold winter, which we've had, or you accidentally leave the hose attached to it. Many times it would freeze, and you don't know that it's frozen until you use it. So a really good tip when you use your outside hoses for the first time each year, go in your basement or right around that faucet to make sure that it's not leaking, flooding your basement or something that you didn't even know because it was split. Because it'll still work outside, but it's dripping inside, and you won't know it till you turn it on.
Right, and that brings up a good point too with your sprinkler systems. You want to make sure those are all checked out too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so how can people get that tune-up or any of those services scheduled with you?
Yeah, just dial Tom Drexler or go to tomdrexler.com and we'll get you taken care of.
All right, easy as that. All you have to do is call Tom Drexler.